Hi and welcome to another video. Today we should be charging the MG4 Trophy at an Ionity 350 kilowatt station. In this video I plan to see how long it takes the vehicle to charge from 10 to 80%, how far you can go on 10 minutes charge, and obviously monitoring the whole charging experience. At the end of the video we'll look at the data and compare the numbers, and also look at the comparison between the standard range, which I tested at the end of last year on the very same charger as this test, and compare the two charging sessions. First of all, let's head over to the Ionity charger with a relatively low state of charge. The outdoor temperature is 21 degrees Celsius and I have just finished my 70 miles per hour range test, so the cells should be fairly toasty. My payment method in this video will be using my Electroverse charge card, which bills my utility bill through Octopus Energy. So it's just preparing to charge. I've scanned my Electroverse card. There we go, we're charging. Let's see what kind of speeds we're going to pull. Details. So you can see amps, volts, kilowatts obviously. So ramping up, 42, 50 nearly, 60, 70, 80. Now we'll have to go to the car in a minute because the car will pull slightly less than the charger because there'll be heat losses. 120, 125. Right, let's go to the car. So nearly 400 volts. We got those amps a bit higher, volts a little bit higher. 134 kilowatts. $135. In terms of voltage, we're pretty much at the ceiling, nearly 400 volts. Just the amps that are limiting us now to go above 137 kilowatts. So as soon as that rises, that number rises, that stays the same, we can get above 137. But at the moment, as it stands, according to the MG marketing, it is charging over the 135, which it advertised as, which is great. So we've gone over the ceiling to 401 volts. I don't think the amps are going to get any higher, so it is really relying on those volts to get that speed up. 402, 350 amps, 140 kilowatts. That's crazy. I didn't think I'd see above 400 volts on this architecture, but there we go, 402. 40%. So 7 to 40% in 10 minutes. That's amazing. That's a third of the battery filled. So the amps are ramping down now, you can see them here. Volts are still high. But those amps coming down, that means the speed is going to come down as well. So 140 was our ceiling by the look of it. but still holding at 401 volts. That's incredible, especially at 33%, 43%. So the voltage still staying very high, just above the ceiling. Amps are really dropping now, so 115 kilowatts of speed, 45% charged. But nearly 40% of the battery charged in 12 minutes. That's incredible. Good for a 32 grand car. There's a lot of other cars here and they cost a lot more than this car, and some of those aren't even pulling the same amount, so kudos to MG. So we've just gone over 50%, been charging for 14 minutes, added 30 kilowatts, sorry, we've added 30 kilowatt hours nearly. Voltage has gone up to 406 now, that's amazing. 114 kilowatts, it's still pulling. Awesome. 280 amps we're down to now. I mean, if that was to go up to 350, this thing would be smoking 140 kilowatts. But we're tail ending with this peak speed. I've got to assume we are. Voltage still really high though, that's brilliant. Not even I got voltage that high on the SE standard range. But that's the different chemistry for you. Past 61% now. We've been charging for 18 minutes, 62% there, down to 83 kilowatts. The voltage is up to 410 now. It's bonkers. Only 203 amps though, so the voltage in the pack's really trying to cling on to the highest possible speeds, but with low amperage we're just not going to get up there. But this is still good though. 62%, 81 kilowatts. 81 kilowatts, to give you an idea, that's nearly the peak speed I pull on my SE standard spec at low state of charge. So this is just ripped through to 50% at a really high speed charge. We're going to stop at 80. Now we have been charging from, I think it was 7%. But we've got the camera rolling in the car as well, so we can work out exactly how long it's taking us to get from 10% to 80. So final 10% now. We go for 22 minutes. Look at the voltage, 417. It's crazy. 167 amps, 69 kilowatts. That's probably about 65 in the car. Now the car obviously manages the charging. It tells the charge what it wants, and it's suggesting 5 more minutes to reach 80%. That'd be 28 minutes to go from 7 to 80%. The voltage. Okay, so the car's suggesting 2 more minutes remaining. That's 28 minutes to get to 80%. That's brilliant. at nearly 80%. We have been charging for 28 minutes, but we did start below 20%, so we'll work out exactly how long it took. When we look at all the data, look at the voltage, 427. Punching way above its weight. There we go, 80%. Right, let's return the plug. So that was the full charging test for all to see. But let's have a look at the data and see how this MG4 Trophy really got on. So here's the data. So from what we understand from this charge, we went from 7 to 10% in just 2 minutes, adding 2 kilowatt hours. And then we went from 10% to 80% in 27 minutes, which is really, really good. Adding to the car 44 kilowatt hours, or roughly around that, which equates to about 152 miles if we take the 3.46 miles per kilowatt hour I achieved on the 70 miles per hour motorway range test. Now, another figure to bear in mind is how far can this car go with 10 minutes worth of charge on a 350 kilowatt charger at low state of charge. Well, we managed to put 20 kilowatt hours into the car, and that gives us a rough range of about 69 miles. So 69 miles in 10 minutes. Now, in terms of the charging speeds, obviously at the lower state of charge we were getting the faster speeds, and around 10 to 40% in the 130 kilowatt mark. We peaked at 40% at 138.1 kilowatts, but after that we did see it tail off and drop off all the way up to 80%, all the way down to 50 kilowatts. So what we can understand from these figures is not only does this car charge very fast up to 40%, but it also has a very good curve, and even at 80% charging at 50 kilowatts is very, very good. So next, here's the specs from the full charge from 7% to 80. It took a total time of 29 minutes, and the charger delivered to the car 48.3 kilowatt hours. But we're taking into account charging losses, the vehicle would have received around 46 kilowatt hours. So how does this compare to the standard range SE spec? Well, let's have a look at the data from that charge and compare the two. So what really stands out between the two charging tests here is clearly the MG4 Trophy does hold a much higher peak speed and for a bit longer than the LFP pack in the standard range MG4. But both cars have a great charging curve, and if we have a look at both vehicles and how many miles of range they appear to add at 10 to 80%, the LFP pack only reports 20% less, which I don't think is too bad at all. But here's a very quick snapshot of the two full charges from start to finish. With the standard range charge, it was from 4% to 80%, which is about 20% less energy in total. So there we have the differences between the MG4 Trophy and the SE standard range. I'd love to know what you think in the comments, so let me know down below, and I'd love to see what your thoughts are. In terms of the MG4 Trophy, it charges great charging curve, and it holds the peak speed really, really well. And this charging test was without any preconditioning. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are of the MG4 Trophy charging test. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, a like and a sub to the channel will always be most appreciative. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.